So just before we start, if I could ask Marta or Rex Payton just a little card here for us to open.
Thank you, Gordon, for the opportunity to open this meeting. Me hea tēnei kia koe, Ash. Me hea tēnei kia tātou haina, ka tai ki te wā, ka timata mai hoki o tātou hui. Mua te timatanga mai o ngā kōrero i pāna hoki ki tēnei kaupapa. Ka tupi nei ngā whakapeta i ngā whakamoemi ki tō tātou matua nui i te rangi nei. Wana manaki tanga ki tātou. Hei noi tātou, le rasi pai. Kia tō tēnei mātou pananga nei te whakapeta i kia koe. Mana manaki tanga ki mātou tēnei ai, tēnei kaupapa o tēnei whenua. Te koe nei whakakai e mātou whai koe i koe mātou mahi katoa. E me timata me mahi mea whakaoti i roto i a koe. Ka whiwhia hoki mātou ki te ora tonu te mea atu pai ki mea koe. Ko ehe pai tō tātou ariki. Amen.
Amen.
Aurora.
Thank you, Rex. Well, I'll now declare the meeting. Do we have a numbered meeting or just a meeting on the 25th of March, the Harding Park committee meeting? Open. Apologies. Do we have any?
No.
No apologies? Do I need a mover and a seconder? I don't, if there's none, is there? Thank you. Conflict of interest declarations. Oh, sorry. Oh, we confirm the agenda for the meeting. Yeah, so all those, I'll take it as it's read by everybody, all those who moves it and who need a seconder. Rob seconded it. No, I'll second it, thanks. All those in favour, say aye. Aye. Against it, carried. Item 1.4, conflicts of interest. So we go through this every meeting, and I'm sure we've all got a conflict of interest in one way or another, but if it's a financial one, and before we go any further, I welcome Henry to the table. Thank you, Mr. Holyoake. We'll just pass through items 1.4, conflicts of interest. Right, so there's none to declare. Right, we'll move on to 2.1, which is a confirmation of the last minutes on the 12th of November 2024. Could I have a mover, please? Well, I'll move that. Could I have a seconder?
I can second.
Councillor Mayer will be seconder. I'll take it as read. Is there any comments about the minutes from last meeting on the 12th? No, so we'll, all those in favour of moving it, vote. Raise your hands, aye. Against?
Aye.
Carried. Operations update, item number 3. We're moving through this very, very quickly. Are we all right there, Kelly?
Yep.
Okay, so we have a mover for that. I'll move it. That's for the, and Rob will second it. Yep. And now we invite Jesse Worley up. Thank you.
Hey everyone. I'll take my report as read. I'll just run through it as well. So this is for operations during the months of October to January 2025. We had our standard routine works through our contractors, that's been listed. And probably one thing we need to add there is that we're now locking the gates. So that was implemented in December 2024.
There's something that comes up, Jesse, should we discuss it as we go? Just simplify things?
You can do that if you like.
Right, if I could just talk about the locking of the gates. We had a couple of times where museum staff were locked out, but I take it that's all been resolved now? And
yes.
We have a system in place?
Not a system, but I do plan to meet with Ross after this meeting.
Excellent, thank you.
Yes.
And I hate to say this, but as we parked out there, we saw the big burnout patch right out in front of us.
Just see that, yes.
Are we suspecting that's happening after hours, or they snuck in, or surely it hasn't happened during the day, or?
Well, I know there was some burglaries during the day. I think that was brought up at the last governance meeting or the one before that. So the car burglaries. So it's, yeah,
That's quite recent, like that,
yeah,
it's in the last week or so, I'd say.
yeah. It's hard to know. I can't know. But the museum does have cameras as well.
Okay.
Got their own cameras.
So just going through, sorry, this might be giving away off the track, but just going through that, like if that's seen, does anyone actually go through the cameras and check who's doing this or?
I haven't been alerted to it, so
Okay.
yeah, that's probably a bit of we need to work on that, a bit of better communication. But potentially the museum may have reported it to the police.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, assumption is sometimes, yeah. Because the biggest deterrent can be apprehension of those people.
Mhm.
And if they get away with it, it can continue. And we've got a little bit of a tourist spot here. And when visitors come up and they see the big burnout marks, it's not a good image. Do you agree? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So we might work on that, maybe if it is with the museum staff, and
I can discuss it with Ross.
I'll
This.
join you if you want.
Okay.
Anybody else got any matters with the locking of the gates? Oh, I see Councillor Mayor's hand is up, it's raised.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Yeah, I have a few things and I'll go into the details. But I'm pleased at least we sorted the locking. That's one credit. And there are quite a few items in the operational activities. Can we just go on that? There are a few items which are red and funnily enough, I'm not sure even this permanent story boardwalk installation, the lady is still in the job. Was it?
So,
Who was it?
Councillor, no, what we'll do is we'll let Jessie produce her report. If items come up on the way, then you could raise your hand, so we're still on the subject rather than trying to preempt it, because a lot of your questions could be answered as you go through. Is that all right?
That's sweet.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah. I was just the CCTV camera is one of them too. Thank you.
But that was routine monthly activities we'd gone through. And then Councillor Nay, your one is next, the storyboard walk, I believe your question was relating to. So it's in the red because it hasn't been completed yet. There's a bit of delay with that project, which our library team is working through. And then we're going to do some site meetings and some stakeholder visits with the museum, the Vintage Machinery Club and Kaipara Cycling, just so everyone's on the same page before that goes in. So hopefully that answers your question, Councillor Naya. Maintenance to the overflow car park, which is by the toilets there and the entrance to the overflow area. So that's in progress still. Hoping to have this completed before 30 June. I did meet with a contractor last week, so we are working on scheduling that work in, and it'll just be R&M, potholing, bit of levelling as well. Vegetation maintenance management, so that was some green waste piles at the back paddock over by the mountain bike area. We've just removed those. We did further arborist services and vegetation management throughout the whole park. So our arborist undertook a review of the mountain bike area and identified any dead wood or dangerous trees, and we've gone through and removed those. And we've also done further pest plant control, so more wattle control, which is paste and stump and paste as well. The liquid amber saplings at the entrance of the park that are starting to pop up. Yeah, just all our general pest species. We're just trying to stay on top of it. And I think you can definitely see the improvement now around the grounds. Still more to do, but that'll just be one of our key areas just to keep on that going forward. Signage maintenance. So we've done some R&M on all the signage at the park. So our wayfinding signage and our dog signage and all of that. So that's all been done, and we've also put in that new entrance sign down at Old Mount Wensley. Can't remember if you recall, that was an issue when the fence went in. Yeah. So
The
instead of
beautiful
moving it-
fence went up.
moving the one that was in, we thought we'd put a smaller one out the front and then keep it. So that's gone in, and that was all part of that mahi. CCTV, I believe this is an item out of the LCP. So that still needs to be investigated. We did do a site meeting several months ago to see what possibilities we have. So we just need to pick that up and continue with that. And as I say, the museum put in their additional cameras as well. So they have their own cameras. Terracing of the steep track. So that's just a safety improvement one. I'm still on with the contractor to get some pricing done for that. They have been to site to review. So there's a couple of varying options. They're going to go back and relook at the best solution. Portable tree topping that's out this area here. So that's so we don't limit our view or impair our views, which is part of the reserve management plan for the park. So it'd be selective topping. Our natives don't always like to disturb our natives trees, but so it'll probably be as minimal as possible, less impact on the tree. But that still needs to be planned as well. We have a question?
Just,
Yeah, well, I have a question, but I mean, I thought maybe it's worthwhile you finish it and then we can ask, because it take less time once you're presented. I mean, there's so many items as you go. If the chair allows, it's better that I ask afterwards. Yeah, and I can sum it up.
well, I'll try and, are you almost complete with your?
Do you want to go through item by item or?
No, well, what does your question relate to, Councillor Mayor?
Well, the question relate to every item, like CCTV camera is one, as I said, but it's better. I think it's a short report. If you allow, let her finish and then we can ask a few questions.
Okay,
Probably
we'll go that way.
easier. Thank you.
Yep, I will continue. I've just put a section in there, which is not actually my management, but it's to do with the park. So that's the license to occupy with cooperative cycling. That's still in progress. It hasn't been signed yet. So our property team is working with them to try and get that completed. Completed activities. We reviewed the inch walkway at Old Golf Course Road. We just did some general maintenance there. We've done green waste removal from the park. We're locking the gates as said, and we are working on the process relating to that. Yeah, vegetation control, arborist works, our water rates, just standard stuff. So our capital works plan going forward, which is the boardwalk area down around by the pond. So during winter that becomes waterlogged, so that's where that's come from. Old Mount Wesley Cemetery, putting in a external water reciprocal for when you leave the cemetery. That's in progress. Harding Park toilet renewal, so that's just basic renewals of internal and external of that block. That's in progress, and I just need waiting for a start date for that. And we're doing some asset renewals, such as one of the Mapukapa picnic tables out here. It's sort of end of life, so that's been ordered. A bit of delay with the supplier on that one. And completed works, we've finished the gates or the fence line at Old Mount Wesley, and the mountain bike area. They've installed their barbecue and shade cover, which was actually Kaipū Cycling put that in through the council funding streams. Yeah. Then we have our financials. So our whole year budget is 193,000. Year to date spent is 72. So we have 120 remaining. Still a bit of money there. We've got a couple of biggest jobs with the toilet and the car park maintenance, further vegetation control. So we'll try and spend some of that.
It's not a chance to have a big spend up. When does this budget run to? And are you projecting that the works that you've got in place still to be done, just about to round it off, or?
So this is operational budget. It runs to 30 June this year. I think a lot of the works we have completed didn't cost as much as we expected them to cost, which is a good thing. And some of the works planned is capital works, so it actually won't come out of this budget pool. So yeah, it's a bit of management on how much we want to spend here and how much we're able to complete as well as the other issue. Yes.
Yeah, personally, my feeling is that you've had a long way to come back as far as the arbitrist and vegetation management goes. And it has been our biggest spend of the year, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has. But it takes a long time to get on top of that, of course.
Yes.
And we can't get too complacent. And I see the young wattle seedlings starting to come up again.
Yes.
That autumn growth, so we can't let it go back. So that's just my view on it. But yeah. So we'll go through any questions. So we'll start with Robert, and then I'll go to Ash, and I'll go to Henry.
Through the chair, you see, it's a real pleasure to drive in and see Sophie Wattles. Yeah, it's I think it's great, the work that you organised and sorted out there. So we've been on your case for a wee while, and yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. It's great job.
Yeah. Thank you.
Councillor Nail?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I know we are governance and we should focus on just operation and, arborist and grass and wattles and CCTV camera. But from your point of view, I forgot the name of the presenter. Would you have some ideas about a better way? We're sitting on $193,000 budget, ratepayers' money for maintaining the park, right? Would you suggest that we should just give it away to one contractor and we don't have to spend so much time on, this is not done, the CCTV camera is still in the progress? Because I think we're doing too much administration for nothing. I mean, if I wanted a CCTV camera in my house, I'll have it tomorrow. So things like that. So what's your view on that?
Through the chair, that's probably a bit more complex than just giving it to one. I know we discussed this right at the start of this term. And, a contractor may only be able to mow lawns and cut some trees. So who's going to do the rest? It'll be very hard to find a contractor that can do all of our needs, wants and needs. Yeah. So
Thank you.
yeah, I don't know how else to answer that, sorry.
I think we should leave it for our after the presentation. We can have a discussion on that. Thank you.
Henry, do you have any?
Yeah, through this chair, just want to say, Jesse, you're doing a great job. The fact that finally got to where we want to be, getting our financial budgets in front of us. We know what's in front of us.
Yeah.
But what I want us to be mindful about is that even though there's, remaining budget, that we don't get carried away by just giving it away to contractors, because we've actually tied it up, past contractor to a new contractor. And also, it is a complex thing with the CCTV. And it just takes a little bit of, thinking out.
Mm.
That's where I think Jesse's in that space to be able to do that. And if there's surplus, like what we've got, doesn't mean to say we're just going to go and just spend it willy-nilly. So, just use it for practical things that we need on the whole facility. But yeah, that's all I say is and kia ora to all my fellow colleagues and to my whanaunga over there, Willie and Matua Rex, kia ora tātou.
Yes. Yeah, thanks for that, for the committee. The one thing that I've got to add is it's from the brutal way that the previous contractors used to do the trimming with the rotary hoe and just smashing all the trees apart, and those trees have started to heal themselves now and the place looks softer and more pleasant.
Yeah.
And that's a credit to you. My feelings are that if we hand it over to a contractor, there'd be more time spent in writing up the contract lease and conditions than there would be of you individually managing it to make sure the individual people did their job well. And I think it is working well, and I really appreciate the work that you've done, Jess. It's been great. And like what Henry has said, that it's not a time to get complacent. We've got that spare money in there. Let's get on top of things that we've started to make some ground on. If we've got it, maybe at the end of the year we could look at doing some maintenance, maybe on something with the rock wall around the point there, or something along that line, which we can shift it to a maintenance rather than a capital works if things are falling apart there.
Okay.
We don't want to be left with the attitude that we've got on top of it and we don't need any more money and start cutting down the budget again so things get behind. But we've got to make sure that we prove to everyone that we've done things wisely and that. Yeah. Thank you very much. Nobody's got any further questions, or Jess has got nothing further to add? Oh, Councillor Mayer? Got more questions?
No. It's not for Jess. It's just in the same context, Chair. I would like to have a discussion, if I'm allowed, with all of us.
Yeah, so what we intend to do, I'll let Jessie stand down now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get through the business of our meeting. I realise that one of our members has got to leave within the next quarter of an hour or so. But what we'll do is at the end of the meeting, we're going to stick around and we'll keep the cameras going to have a little discussion with our guests that we have in the back.
Thank you.
So, right, I don't need to worry about any. We've got statements and mover statements and seconder statements. Now, the mover is myself. I think I've said enough already. I've made that statement. The seconder is Rob. Do you have any other statement to make about the report or anything like that? Has any other members got any other comments they wish to make or statements to make? Okay. First, go ahead, Councillor Mayer.
Yeah. I thought I'm the only one who is left to make the statement. Is it?
You have the opportunity to make a statement, yes?
Okay, thank you. No, all I was saying, I mean, we can have a pat on the back, but being in the financial world, you always know, and if you don't need the money, somebody else will take it. So 192,000, if you spent 50,000, the 140 will be hard ask from the council to ask for us. So I think there are a couple of options I would like to consider, not a discussion as such. We have stakeholders who are can look after. We can ask the two big stakeholders, the museum and the machinery club, to come out if we give them $40,000-$50,000 a year, and they can look after the whole item. We don't have to spend 200,000. We don't have to engage contractors. I mean, something out of box, something we are giving to the people that, well, let's not get into bureaucracy. Let's not spend half of the staff and time on things which they don't have to do. And the stakeholders are the major complainants. Let them sort it out. So just a thought. So I don't know how you feel about it. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Ash. Yeah, well, I'll reply with a statement along that line now. You're probably all aware that the council is going through a lot of discussion and toing and froing over the museum funding, bearing in mind that the museum is part of that. I would just ask everyone just to try and keep this a little bit separate and don't sort of go down the means of involving the museum too much until we get the actual park itself sorted. I think that's, if we can remain constant and we show improvement, we've got $120,000 still remaining there. Now, I don't need to tell you how quickly that could get burnt up with a refit of a public toilets, or even sealing of car parks, or there's arbitrage work, and we've seen how much the arbitrage budget is. It was our largest single item in our year's budget. So there's still a lot of work to do. The placement of the seats and the like down here, that's all in the schedule to be done this year. So let's not think that there's a whole lot there. That we can get through that quite quickly. I see Jesse nodding a little bit there to the side. So we're treated that we're not ahead. We've made some savings there, and Jesse said that, but we'll treat this as that we're probably on target of where we want to be. And I'd like that specifically noted that we haven't got a lot left over. We are on target. Yeah. So in light of that, I'll get all those in favour of accepting that. Say aye.
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 Against? Carried. Right. And are there any other matters arising besides that today?
Through the chair, can I make one comment? I mean, can I?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to stop you, Ash. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. No, all I was saying is that when we started, and I guess we started with the hope that the Tirurao Iwi, Matua Ben is here, Matua Rex Nathan is here as well, listening probably. That involvement has not happened. And we are just nearing the term, end of the term. And I think that part, I don't know what others can comment on, probably would have added some value in our relationship or in our performance in the Harding Park Committee. Just a question.
Yeah, I thank you for that. So what I'm going to do, what I intend to do now is to close the meeting, but I intend to leave the cameras on for you to be involved. Do we have to record this? Okay, so we'll leave the cameras on and not recording, and the council staff can either stay or they can leave, but we're going to sit around and have a little discussion for a little while with Rex and Woodman.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll now declare the meeting closed. And if I could get you, Rex, just to close it again since you opened it, to bookend it.
Before I close it, thank you for the invitation to be here. We're not too sure what the reason was for inviting us along here, because Willie and I are both part of Pōtū Te Rangi committee, and Willie can bring up the date in terms of where we're at regarding the minister and Te Uriho Settlement Trust, because that's what we come under, the Te Uriho Settlement Trust. And so I guess I'm not too sure, where we go after this. Perhaps we could close the meeting and then we could have that discussion. If we could, okay, let's close the meeting. Kei roi tātou, ura spray. Te atua tēnei mātou konanga nei te whakapeta i kia koe. O manakitanga ke mai timatanga o tēnei hui tanga hoki ki tēnei haura. Mai ho ko te manaki mana ko te tia. Mai ho te maramatanga o te kanui ki runga kia koe tau. Ana anō, te kui heo tu i mari ko te aia nei, a ke tona tu. Amen.
Kia ora.
So this is now not